Okay, for today's video, we're starting on page 13 of our Chapter 11 notes. So we're finishing our Chapter 11 notes today, the last page of our Chapter 11 notes. Section 11.8, finding intersections of two trig graphs. So we have two problems to get through today. Number one says to sketch on the same set of axes the graphs of y equals 2 cosine x and y equals sine a half x between 0 and 2 pi. Then determine the number of values of x between 0 and 2 pi that satisfy the equation 2 cosine x equals sine 1/2 x. All right, so we're placing the two graphs on the same set of axes, and we're going to determine the number of values of x that satisfy the equation in which the two equations, y equals 2 cosine x and y equals sine 1/2 x, which they intersect. All right. So let's start off with, first we know we're going from 0 to 2 pi. So 0, 2 pi, let's start our x scale. Halfway between would be pi, and halfway between 0 and pi over 2. And between pi and 2 pi, 3 pi over 2. And for our y-axis, we have y equals 2 cosine x, so y equals 2 cosine x is going to get as high as 2, and then y equals 1 sine 1/2 x will get as high as 1. All right, so we only need to go up to 2 for our y. Okay. Taking y equals 2 cosine x. All right. Cosine is going to start at 2. Our b value, right, is 1. So that means we have one complete cosine curve from 0 to 2 pi. All right, so cosine here starts at its max, 2 at 2 pi. It will end at 2, midway between, be at its min, -2. And then at pi over 2, we'll be on the x-axis, and at 3 pi over 2. Let's sketch this with a nice curve. And make sure we label it. This is y equals 2 cosine x. Now I'll use a different color for y equals sine 1/2 x. Y equals sine 1/2 x. We know it's going to get as high as 1. Now the b value is equal to 1/2. So that means from 0 to 2 pi, we would have half a sine curve, right? So sine would start at the origin, up to the max 1, back to 0, down to the min, -1, back up to 0, okay? This is one complete cycle, but from 0 to 2 pi for y equals sine 1/2 x, we only get half of this. So we'll start at the origin 0, 0, but at 2 pi, all right, we'll be back on the x-axis, and midway between 0 and 2 pi, at pi radians, we'll be at a height of 1. So here is half our sine curve. Okay. Let's label it with its equation y equals sine 1/2 x. And now determine the number of values of x between 0 and 2 pi that satisfy the equation 2 cosine x equals sine 1/2 x. Well, 2 cosine x is our blue curve. Sine equals 1/2 x is my green curve. So how many points of intersection are there? There are 2 points. There are 2 values. Right? There are 2 values. Or 2 points of intersection. So 2 values. One there and one up there. Right here and here. Next, number 2, sketch on the same set of axes the graphs of y equals cosine 1/2 x and y equals negative sine x between 0 and 2 pi. So our x scale is the same, going from 0 to 2 pi. Now for y equals cosine 1/2 x, and then y equals negative sine x. Okay, so this cosine is going to get as high as 1, and sine 1 and negative 1. So we'll just put 1 and negative 1 on our y-axis. And first we'll graph y equals cosine of 1/2 x. So our b value is 1/2. So that means from 0, that's our frequency, right? Our frequency from 0 to 2 pi, we will get only half a cosine curve, right? And cosine would start at 1, at 2 pi end at 1, midway between be down at negative 1. All right, so how much? I'm only getting half, so I'm going to get this portion. So we'll start at 0, 1, and then at 2 pi, right, we'll be down at negative 1, of a y value of negative 1. And midway between will be on the x-axis, so at pi will be on the x-axis. Okay, well, let's connect this. Let's label it. Y equals cosine 1/2 x. And now, using another color, we'll graph y equals negative sine x. All right. Our b value is 1, so we have one complete sine curve from 0 to 2 pi. But we're starting off with negative, right? So this is an inverted sine curve. So we'll start at the origin. At 2 pi, we'll be back on the x-axis, midway between on the x-axis. Now, instead of starting off going up to 1 at pi over 2, we'll be going down to negative 1. Right. 0, min, 0, max, 0. Label it with its equation. This is y equals negative sine x. Then solve the equation for all values of x in the interval from 0 to 2 pi that satisfies the equation cosine of 1/2 x equals negative sine x. All right, so solving this, by looking at our graph, we're looking for the actual x coordinate, right, or x value of where the two graphs intersect. And what is our x value here? it is pi. So there is one point of intersection at pi. So cosine of 1/2 x equals negative sine x when x equals pi. And that's our answer. And this concludes our video tonight and our chapter. Thank you.